ladies that are now in their new association are not the ones that were responsible to come to council previously. I just hope we keep that in mind. So it isn't this lady or others that are in the organization now that let council down. And I don't even know if we should call it DRIC anymore because
It isn't
you've
DRIC.
incorporated
It's
differently.
Two Rivers Community Group.
And I agree, Susan is a new element,
Yeah.
but I don't agree with the latter half of your statement. There are elements within this new group that were not responsive when they were being asked to be responsive.
That was things I had no knowledge of.
But furthermore, I mean, I honestly have to say, from what the citizens have told me, I mean, we were culpable too. So, I mean, I kind of put us on a sort of an equal footing in some ways, even though we didn't really, I don't think it was warranted. I'm not sure they feel that it was warranted on their behalf either. I mean, we just need to move ahead, look forward, and repair those
I understand
broken
there are
bridges.
still a ton of unanswered questions about
Yeah.
that time frame,
So,
and there are people with answers who have not come forward and have been asked to come forward.
mhm.
And it's just very frustrating when those same people are coming back and asking to be a part of something with the city when we did not get cooperation when they were asked point blank.
Yeah, so I say let's open it all up.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah, I would prefer we start looking out the windshield, but certainly still be checking the mirrors every once in a while. But no, I would certainly agree if there's some way to certainly engage the businesses, the business owners, some of the folks from the public on creating some things in the downtown, and we can get to something that we all like, that we can all look at on paper and in discussions and say, yep, you know, everything may not work perfectly, and that's the way some of those things go, and they get tweaked and they get worked around, but I don't mind going back onto the field and see if we can't win it this time.
I have a question for Susan.
Yes.
Susan, I was just wondering if the new community group has discussed possibly having the market on another day other than Saturday, for, you know, so you wouldn't compete with the Vancouver market.
Well, we discussed it, but it's really not viable to get the people who are on. Sunday is not a good day for the market. And then Camas has switched theirs to a Wednesday, so the Saturday is open in this neighborhood.
Just let me know what works best for you all, and I'll work that into my schedule. Okay, Lloyd, Wallace Engineering?
The preface is done, it's over to you.
Yes, this is a professional service agreement with Wallace Engineering for general engineering services.
Thanks, Susan.
So from time to time, Public Works utilizes professional engineering services and for different sections of our Public Works department, be it parks, streets, water or wastewater. And with that, just like to answer any questions involving that. This is an ongoing PSA with Wallace, so it's a $30,000 PSA, and as that gets used up, then we would resubmit another one if we needed it.
So do I understand correctly that this is basically just a retainer?
I don't know if you'd call it a retainer.
Retainer.
Oh, okay.
It's an agreement, and then there are actual work orders and work products, and there's a billing schedule, and as the work proceeds and is done, it's billed back to us, and then we pay it. This has been in place, but it has lapsed, so this is an effort to put the right contract and documentation in place. That's my understanding of it.
And to a large degree, those services that are paid out for on behalf of the city are turned around and billed back to the developers. In the case of developers that have generated those, if it's streets, if it's water, if it's, those are ours.
Well, the other aspect of it, isn't it, that for 30,000, we couldn't hire somebody and get this done.
Yeah.
And
Well, when it comes to a variety of observations, when I finish up, I'm gonna have something in the observations and recommendations that gets worked up through staff for you, but that's getting ahead of our program, so to speak.
A couple of quick questions. If we don't use their services during 2010, is there any obligation on our part? Okay.
Nope.
Paragraph 1B, the scope of services says payment for these services shall not exceed $30,000 unless authorized in writing by the city. Is that $30,000 in total for the year or per project?
Currently for the year.
Well, it's different requests. I mean, conceivably, we could use that up before the end of
Right.
the year was out. That's the ongoing PSA, and it does not exceed $30,000. So if we went over and above the $30,000, we'll have to draft another PSA with
Okay.
Wallace.
Professional services agreement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Paragraph 12, notices. All notices which are given or required to be given pursuant to this agreement shall be hand-delivered or mailed, postage paid as follows. Does this imply that both parties have to be notified on each, for every notice?
I'm
This
not-
is- Typically, Dave, that would just be notices that have to do with this agreement itself. Things that Wallace or ourselves need to go back and forth on, and we've got to give them notification to their proper, what they have in here, and they need to supply it to us, and not, gee, I sent it to Jim on the weekend over at home, he knew about it.
Okay, good. Last page, Exhibit B, it says outside expenses will be billed at cost plus 10%. What are outside expenses?
I will have to get back to you on that one. I'm sorry.
Okay,
This evening, I can't answer that specifically.
that's I'm always looking for, where is this thing gonna exceed the
You bet.
allocation?
One of the control points is the 30,000, and as an example, if they were doing something that didn't have, say, an electrical or structural engineer on board, but they're intending to sub that out, I think that's the kind of thing that would occur.
Okay,
I see Jim kind of nodding on that. You're welcome.
Other questions?
So as I understand it, this basically is just a way for us to have a contract so that we can use the budgeted money as necessary when we need to use their services?
Yeah, that's correct. As things arise, where we need an engineer's opinion.
Cool.
and this gives us responsiveness that we need?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Next item.
It's over to you.
Yes, the first agenda bill I have is, I'm asking if you're willing to set a public hearing on it. That's the only request, although I give you quite a bit of information in the summary statement. This is the first step to implement what we discussed at council retreat regarding rezoning of some properties to commercial for the city's economic viability in the future. I believe that we have fulfilled all the goals and all the items that we intended to do in that resolution, and therefore, I'm just hoping that you'll set a public hearing. Do you have any questions? Okay, then I'll go on to my Wallace Engineering agenda bill. What this covers is related to development. For example, if a subdivision